It's working. How we doing? I was debating with myself whether to come on or not. A few thoughts, a few questions. Obviously, everybody's pretty much in the same boat here, trying to figure out what's possibly going on. I'm not really interested in, the whole coronavirus thing, what it actually is, yada yada, because I think it's pretty obvious that, this isn't about illness. One of the first things that really bothers me, I want to talk a wee bit about revolution and, uprising, whatever else, because, it really bothers me that people can't see that, you've got governments, you've got systems of they shouldn't be about control. It's like, when is the evolution in the mind of people actually ever going to happen? Because, as I've said so many times before, and it doesn't take a genius. It really doesn't take a genius. So you've got to ask the question of the level of mindset that are, in these positions of power. Because if we want to live as a commune, as a society, then that's a very, very simple thing for us to set out a structure to maintain the infrastructure. Keep the water coming, keep the fuel supply coming, keep the roads good, and obviously always being open and transparent with any tech, so that we can minimise the types of fuels and whatever else we're going to use. So really, for me, when I think of a government, I don't think of a government as in moderating our behaviour. I think there would be an aspect to that in regards to law, what we call common law, criminality. That being, if you done something to another human being, like stole something from them, or breached a contract with them, or assaulted them in some way. But other than that, why would we have people in positions where they start invoking things about health? I mean, that's right there and then there's a serious issue for me, because who would have the right? Why would you even allow that to creep in? And I mean, the situation we're in right now, it's not just creeped in, it's been there, heavily. Lobbying from pharmaceutical industry, to, actually levering us into this situation. I mean, what the fuck has, health got to do with an infrastructure? Absolutely fuck all. So, stuff, I'm just sharing my thoughts because it really, everything just comes into so much clarity, for me, and I'm like, human beings are fucking dumb. I can sit, me and Marty could sit, you and I could sit, we can say, right, what do people actually need? What is it people are actually looking for? What is it they really require? And it's not going to take long to figure that out and to implement it and put it in place. So when I look, I have an issue with living as societies in the first place, and why we would even, congregate to such a thing. But if people wanted to, then it could be very, very simple. But unfortunately right now, the way I see it is that, in order to implement something better, there has to be civil unrest. There has to be revolution. And that brings me to one of my questions. Is that what they're looking for? I've seen some footage earlier of Australia, and the Australian politicians talking about how social distancing measures and whatever else could maybe be lasting for 18 months. And you're just like, come on to fuck. Come on to fuck. Do you really think that people are going to put up with it for that long? I mean, look at Italy as well. I've seen some other footage from Italy. You know, a couple of people out in the street getting irate, begging the police because they've got no money, they've got no food. I seen one of a guy and his daughter making a plea to the Prime Minister or President, whatever it is in Italy, basically stating that this was the last day of bread. Tomorrow they have nothing. So what's going to happen when it gets to that level? If they, the powers that be, want a new system, then they're going to have the people contributing to that. So you would need some sort of revolt, you would need some sort of unrest, so that it looks like the people demanded it, the people got up in arms about it, and then they would be ready to offer you the new system. But that's the concerns that I have. Even if that was to happen, you know, people don't understand, you know, a system that would be in place again. It would just be much the same. Politicians lobbying for private industry, for, you know, self-interests, whatever else. You would have to implement some sort of system where it was rigid and brutal, so that anybody veering away from, you know, maintaining the infrastructure, the bare necessities, would be held accountable. But even if we have the scenario of some sort of revolution, and then, you know, people trying that, I just highly doubt it, because I don't know if people have got the ability to reason, to see the simplicity. I mean, look at the whole coronavirus thing. You know, I've always spoke about, you know, using your mind, your discernment, and understanding language. Well, if you look at the coronavirus, the whole coronavirus thing has been implemented. I can only talk from here in the UK. It's been implemented using fallacious reasoning and logic, the usual tactics, where it's not about facts, it's not about practical references and demonstrating what it is you have actually found. It's all based on emotional manipulation. It's all appealing to people's emotions. You know, and this is what you get, you know, this is how people start to police each other, because they're operating from a subjective, emotional stance. So you're getting all this continual, oh, we need to unite, we need to pull together. Oh, think of the poor elderly, think of your loved ones because you're going to infect them. But think of the NHS, that, oh, think of this, it's all emotional sway. It's all, you know, moderating your behaviour, pulling you into line by using fallacious logic, fallacious reasoning. But people just fall for it hook, line and sinker. They never stop to go, hang on a minute. Never mind trying to influence me with emotional fucking sway. Where is the cold hard fucking facts? And why are dipshits on the TV, objective journalism? Why are these motherfuckers constantly utilising the same NLP subtle tactics of emotional manipulation? That's no way to reason. There's no way to get to the facts or understand anything. People have totally overlooked if there is any facts. They don't give a fuck. They're all little soldiers running to be rewarded from the big daddy figure. 4.5 gold stars. 4.5 gold stars. I stayed in the house for 30 days and grassed on my neighbours. That's the level of mindset. And it seems to me that this whole lockdown stuff, and I said it before, prison terms, you know, is it looks to me like now it's deliberate attempts at antagonising, stressing people, getting them agitated and getting them angry. Now, I've always said this before, money is fuck all. Money is not the control, never has been the control. You can't eat money, you can't grow crops with money. Making people dependent upon a food chain is the major control. So what we're going to start to see in places like Italy and all these other places, in places like South America, South Africa, Brazil, all these types of places where there is poverty, you're going to get huge movements of people. wondered if maybe that's what talking to Kaz and Veronica about this, that maybe the beds are for the military, maybe the beds are for when we get the civil unrest, when we get riots in the street, when we get injured parties. I mean, who knows? People say get the word out, inform people, but it's very difficult to inform people. People don't want to know. People only react to emotional manipulation. And again, Mr. Cheswick put a video up and I put a comment, and that was my response to Mr. Cheswick as well, because it's good that people have got the will to get the word out. I've done it, but at the same time it's like, well, we're very short on time here. And I find it very highly unlikely that you can get the information required in order to inform people. Not just inform people, i.e. telling them. You need people in a position where they can discern, where they understand the language and they can question and reason succinctly and clearly for themselves. That's the only way you're going to eradicate any system of control, any manipulative agenda-based structure. But that's not going to happen in a few weeks, in a year. And for me, it's all futile. Again, I spoke about this before. Systems, like we call society, it's an order. Everybody knows the term order from chaos. And for me, what that actually means is chaos means no system. Free flow, natural expression, and an equilibrium will be found. That's been termed as chaos, and in the minds of people that means pillaging, raping, murdering, dysfunction. But that's what we have right now. That's what you've been experiencing all your life, under an order. So what do you think would be more beneficial to us as a whole, to use the individual? Natural chaos or some human being's order? Because as soon as you allow a human being's order to be generalised over the masses, it's going to be corrupt, it's going to be unjust. It's a futile exercise. That's on top of human beings not knowing where they are, not knowing why they're here, how it came to be, what their place is within it, what the true chronology of a human being's history actually is. They're in a constant frenzy of dysfunction, confusion, bewilderment, fear, anxiety, and everybody is eating everybody else to come up with the right answer. And the right answer for me is, why is any human being trying to impose an order over chaos? And I think people need to consider that a lot more than everybody jumping on the Messiah bandwagon, the God complex, and thinking it's there to be fixed. There's a system, there's a way we can fix it. Aye? Let it go. Live for you. Live for your family. Be self-sufficient. Be self-dependent. And if we're not offering those tools to each other, then there's a serious fucking problem. Because the only thing you're going to breed is dependency. Dependency is going to bring apathy, corruption. So for me, what we're seeing and what we're witnessing is a reorder. It's no order from chaos, because we've not experienced chaos under what I understand chaos to be. It's just an order from an order. What you have to do is create situations so that you can implement your new order. Because that old system's falling apart. People are seeing through it. We need a new one. Because the game is to maintain an order so that there's a hierarchy, so that a few benefit, and it'll always be corrupt. It's not based on equality. It's not based on resource, unless that's what they offer, but I highly doubt it. Because as human beings, that's what we need. Resources. No fucking money. No legislations. No rulers. Messiahs, gurus. Evil entities, good entities. All these schisms in the human mind that keep you confused. I'll come to the chat. I mean, the cashless thing, obviously, that's pretty obvious. I say, speaking about these things from 15, 20 years ago, I just take it for granted that people involved in this know about these things. That's why I don't speak about them a lot. But that was always one of the plans. Then you have to ask yourself, how did they bring that about? How are they going to bring about one government? How are they going to bring about one religion? In order to have the one religion, you're going to have to stage some event, like some religious scenario, or aliens come and say they made us, and we have to behave, and this is how we should behave, and these are the people we're going to leave in charge. Just thoughts. Anyhow, I want to share this with you because this is the third time now I've heard this. I'm not sharing.
You have to go through again. We're going to have a rough week. Got to know him. I didn't know him. Got to know him. And a lot of people are working hard. Everybody's working hard. A lot of people are doing a great job.
Just on a side note, when I was watching this on TV last night, something looked off to me. I don't know if it's just the way his neck is, kind of watery, and the way it sits on this collar. But last night on the TV there was like, you know, that kind of contrasting, like green, as if it was out of focus, run here and whatever else. I mean, this is a problem. I just don't trust any visuals that I'm seeing on a TV these days, because I don't know what the fuck's going on. The other interesting thing that I've not looked at properly is, you know, the seal that they usually speak in front of, the president's seal. Well, recently when he's been talking, I've not seen him, that's not been represented anywhere. I heard somebody else talking about this as well, and I don't really know the ins and outs of what that actually means, but it is noticeable. You know, the seal, the fucking eagle with the arrows and whatever else. It's not been there. It's not on the podium. It's not behind him. It's not to the side of him. But anyhow.
Say that a lot of people are doing a great job. But the goal is that all Americans have been sacrificing to achieve these last few weeks, things that...
Obviously, for anybody that doesn't know, there's a theories running about that he's kind of draining the swamp. And that what's actually going on is there's, you know, all the people, the deep state, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, a lot of this cabal are being rounded up for their crimes and, you know, their corruption and their sex trafficking of children and abuse of children and whatever else. But it's a nice thought to have. It would be nice to think there was some justice coming, but you need to forgive me for no trusting any of these people and no expecting anything like that. But anyhow.
A lot of people thought were not possible to achieve. And I think we've more than achieved, but we have to go through. Again, we're going to have a rough week. We're going to have maybe a little more than a week.
See, this is what he said over a week ago now, but he said 2 weeks. And what he said was, and then one day, there's going to be a huge light, massive light or something along the lines. And he repeats it here again.
But there's tremendous light at the end of that tunnel. I said it last time, said it last night. There's tremendous light at the end of the tunnel. There's so
he's acknowledging it, that you said it before. Tremendous light. What the fuck is he talking about? What's the tremendous light? What, that we all just go back to normal? That's hardly tremendous light. But he's accentuated that statement a couple of times now. And then here he goes on to talk about, I don't know if he's trying to give you clues about this whole Bill Gates and the vaccine stuff. And that he's pretty much, he starts talking here about therapeutics. And then it's categorised differently from vaccine, as you'll hear him saying.
Many things happening with therapeutics, with vaccines, with things that we really want. Deborah, Tony, the
things that we really want, and then moves on. So a lot of this stuff that I've been noticing for Trump, again, I pay no attention to mainstream media, but I have been watching it recently, and I've been kind of curious about this guy. And he seems to talk in tongues, he seems to talk in code a lot, because some of the stuff he says seems out of context. It doesn't seem to mesh with the thing he spoke about before to the thing that he goes on to speak about. They seem like coded messages or something. So, let's just hear it again.
These last few weeks, things that a lot of people thought were not possible to achieve. And I think we've more than achieved, but we have to go through. Again, we're going to have a rough week. We're going to have maybe a little more than a week. But there's tremendous light at the end of that tunnel. I said it last time, said it last night.
So if you're talking about a sporadic, disease, virus that's jumped from people to people, that's not something that you can predict by saying these statements. Oh, a week, maybe just over a week, tremendous light.
There's tremendous light at the end of the tunnel. There's so many things happening with therapeutics, with vaccines, with things that we really want. Deborah, Tony, they're all working so hard on this, but those therapeutics, I mean, look, the vaccines are going to be always a little bit later because of that testing period, but...
Wait, what, a couple of years? Fuck vaccines. What is the therapeutics you're talking about? That's what I'm interested in. What is he actually going on about here?
Therapeutics, getting the kind of things that I heard about today, talking to these brilliant companies and brilliant people on the phone was fantastic. It was such an incredible conversation.
Vitamins, vitamin D, vitamin C. What therapeutics?
And I also spoke just a few minutes ago with former Vice President Biden, who called, and we had a really wonderful, warm conversation. It was a very nice conversation. We talked about pretty much this. This is what we talked about. This is what...
So he talks a lot about this warmth and love and unity and going to fucking North Korea and coming back with handshakes and friendships and all this stuff. So, as I say, I only have questions about what's actually going on here. I don't know what anybody else's thoughts on the matter are, but these are just some of the things I'm picking up on. The Q thing. I have seen him making reference to Q. I've seen the banners at some of his chats. You see, I'm just catching up with all this stuff because, I pay fucking little to fucking no attention to anything in the mainstream, unless anything catches my interest, obviously. So I'm interested to hear what yous are thinking about here, because I don't really have much else to add to it. But obviously I'm aware of the QAnon thing and draining the swamp and whatever else, but what are we saying here? Light is knowledge. I thought about that. Is he going to try and play the role of Messiah? The good guy, the ultimate good guy, lifting the veil. I don't pay any attention to Stefan Molyneux. Obviously he was involved in the whole Earth debate thing and was just a fucking biased, dishonest guy. So once I see that kind of dishonesty, I lose respect for him. I'm not interested in that. Same with David Wilcox. David Wilcox funded Project Camelot. I don't know if anybody remembers Project Camelot. Somebody actually sent me a link to Bill Ryan. I hadn't seen him for years. I don't know where he is now actually. But Project Camelot was Bill Ryan and Kerry Cassidy, but David Wilcox funded them, but it just seemed like a lot of disinformation and muddying the waters and saturating the internet with content that was kind of irrelevant. You know, indigo children from fucking Mars and I'm a psychic and all this stuff. And I'm Edgar Casey reincarnated and all that. I find it difficult to put my attention to any of these people for previous. Not that I'm saying what he's offering right now may not be, you know, something worthwhile, but most respect for Wakey Wakey and all. Started acting like a dipshit because he interviewed an astrophysicist and thought he's got to tell everybody that's the way to do it. Whatever. Can't be fucked with people and their egos and fucking I'm the bestest now because I did that. That's stuffy. This is what happens when people act like fucking morons, and I've probably done it. People don't listen to anything I've got to say because of it, but that's just the way it is. At least I'm going to be honest about it. I seen a bit about this. Was it not the American guy talking about how, you know, we may have to remove people from the family? I mean, they've overstepped the mark plenty. That would just be taking it too far. This is what I'm saying. The more I see this kind of stuff, drones, telling people it's going to be social distancing for 18 months, threatening to take people from their family units. I mean, if that's not trying to trigger civil unrest, I don't know what is. No, and that's on top of people being in poverty, no funds, no food, no work. It's just a melting pot for fucking riots in the streets. And for me, it's glaringly obvious. Maybe it is a trap to make us do nothing. That's what I thought as well, Chris O'Neill. Because that's what happens. People start to think, well, if there's a saviour, if there's another representative, we can sit back and wait for the beings of light versus the beings of darkness and hope that our side wins. It's not a fucking football match, people. Same as I spoke about before. Don't sit about on YouTubes waiting for gurus to offer you the information that suits your wee bias. You need to be taking the reins yourself. Anybody that, you know, advocates for that type of mentality is for the fucking watching. Oh, don't worry, I'll save you. I'm here to fix you all and save you. Fuck you, cunt. You're number one on the suspicion list. What was I looking at? Hang on a minute. See, lawful protest. Under the Human Rights Act, everybody has a freedom of expression and a freedom of thought and assembly. This means that everybody has a right to a peaceful protest and no restrictions shall be placed on this unless it is in the interests of national security. So obviously they would maybe pull that card if people did start. Even in the dictionary for revolution, a forcible overthrow of a government or social order in favour of a new system. One order to another order. I'm sick and tired of man's order. Man is trying to play fucking creator, the prime mover. Man is trying to live out some religious fantasy of a god daddy that fixes everybody. Human beings really need to wind their fucking neck in and get to what's really relevant and important. So, I see there's a few here. Is there anybody that wants to add anything to this? You can send me an email. Hang on. You can send me an email. Obviously, you know, it's good to talk about these things and see it from different perspectives. Because as I say, everybody's guessing right now. You know, nobody really knows what's actually going on. Check. Aye, bag of chatty. I heard them saying that the storm's coming. 1 minute 30 seconds. What's your thoughts in regards to connections to 5G?
I was sent a video which has been described as just below a military weapon. Like I say before, we don't know if that's true. It could be a military weapon for all we know.
Somebody looking at money and it's just like back in the days when people used to fold the note up and go, look, it's a reptile. There's a reptilian there in the fucking note when you fold it. That's it. This is what I'm saying. You know, everybody's woked and YouTube's full of truthers, but they just saturate the place because everybody's vying to be coming up with the newest and the bestest and the most outlandish and find the answer. How about everybody just slows the fuck down? Wind your neck in. Remember, what's your experience? What can you practically reference for yourself? If you can't, why are you talking about it? Why are you adding more onto the pile? Ask questions. Asking questions is the best method. Question every fucking thing. Question it until you break it or you find contradictions. But it's the same old. Very little questions, so many answers. Everybody's got a fucking answer. I know there is effects of 5G and whatever else, but it's not just about 5G. This is much bigger than 5G. Huh. If I get a Ledger. What's a Ledger Nano S? What's that? Don't know what that is. What is that? Hardware wallet. Protect your digital asset. I don't have any fucking digital assets. Here's the truth about the virus.
Hey, what's up?
Aye, the doctor, I've heard all this, I've heard this guy as well. And what viruses are and germ theory and what's actually going on and how the body produces, you know, these toxins, gets rid of the toxins, and if you test a certain way, it's going to show up from the lungs that, you know, people have got apparent coronavirus or COVID-19, but it's something that the body produces. I've heard all that. I say, my interest knowing, you know, coronavirus, because it's no about coronavirus. That's the smoke and mirrors, that's the distraction. Get everybody's attention focused on that so that they don't see what's actually happening. How did you verify that that was right, what that guy's saying? Because you're taking second-hand information. That's what I'm talking about. Everybody in their eagerness to be the first to unravel a treasure. What does meditate mean? Define meditation. Is it some Buddhist image based version of meditation? Because I used to try that. Alright, I have to sit like this and fucking count my breaths and all that, and then all I did was start to get focused on counting my breaths. Then I'd become conscious of that and go, alright, well, but I'm conscious of me counting my breaths, and then I would just become conscious, oh, it was a waste of fucking time. Depends what you mean by meditation. Again, these are all the real issues for me. Language. You know, what are people's relationships to language? What are they defining when they use these words? Because we're just passing them about and talking past each other continually. Because everybody needs to be windswept and interesting. Look at me, as an intellectual, I'm a researcher. I can regurgitate fancy words and phrases that sounds good. So I'm an investigative researcher with advanced knowledge and a messiah complex that I want to exercise on you. So meditate. The answers are within. Meditate. The answers have always been there. They are within. Aye. All these fucking gurus and experts, the answers are within. What have they done with it? Fuck all. Dipshits are still running the show. All the trippers, all the psychedelics, all the meditating, all the gurus, all the spiritual practices, all the prayers, all the emitting positive energies, all the pineal gland, every fucking bastard thing under the sun, and fuck all changed. All these fucking gurus, meditators, psychonauts, and it should be a fucking virtual playground of pure bliss, Bunu, according to Tinterwebs. Realism, self-honesty. How about we start there? How about we wind our necks all the way back in and start getting fucking real with yourself first and foremost, before we go saving every other fucker. Be at one with the universe. First and foremost, you don't fucking know what the universe is, never mind be at one with it. Let's take it from this experience. That thing eats that thing eats that thing, that eats the arse of that to get to the belly of that, and then that eats that, and then that eats that, and it's a big horror show. But be at one with it. I'm at one with the horror show. Says a lot about you. You don't know what the universe is, and you're at one with it, and you're at one with the horror show that you're experiencing. Yes, but I wear wee fluffy feathers and petals and butterflies, and I speak so serene and so calmly. Dittery, dithering fucksticks. Mentally retarded. Message sent. Cool, look in a wee minute. I see it. I can see your message. You don't need to keep repeating it. I've read it out now. I know that you've sent me a message. I'm always smiling. I'm smiling within. What's this important message? You do now, mate, there'll be one on its way. Cheers, Dom. Know that I know what it fucking is. You're talking fucking high tech for me. You know what I mean? What was it called? A Ledger Nano S. Unless it's something I can bolt on or break it apart and weld bits of it, or I'm not going to have a fucking clue. Ian Moss, I don't know either, mate, but there's a possibility this is some kind of New World Order takeover. What do you mean by New World Order takeover? You know, as I said before, there's a system of hierarchy in place. And you've got, you know, wealth operating at the upper echelons of it. And, you know, the system, it's just one system for another. So it may be a new system. There's not going to be any new order. First human history to accomplish it. The Romans try, well, they have accomplished it. As I said before, they've got everybody believing they're on a space testicle. They've got everybody believing that they've worked out what the universe is. They've got everybody believing that they know what life is based on their cultural teachings. They have accomplished it. Human beings are running about full of hubris, thinking they've got a grasp on what they're a part of here. And they don't even have a fucking cunt's clue about the basics. So they have achieved it. The Romans tried and ultimately failed. Hitler and the Nazis too. If you know they're all megalomaniacs, it makes perfect sense. Aye? And as I say, they already have. In my view. Comet Atlas. I've heard about this. Gene, West Coast Wisdom, was mentioning this. Maybe that's reference to the flash of light. Maybe it's because we're on the tappy like a big fucking rocket ship. Right, we're on the tap bit and it's a big fucking rocket ship. And it's really fucking zipping through the vacuum. Right? And maybe we're going to cross paths with something and we might hit the fucker. That's what a big flash of light is. There's another. Let's throw that into the melting pot. Right? Everybody go and make fucking videos now with the answer. Oh, it's all been coded. Because really, the Earth's on top of some fucking spaceship thing and we're on course to collide with something else that's zipping about the void. Do you know what it is? It's a bit that broke off a couple of 1,000 years ago. We're going to cross paths with it. It's going to be a big light. Pole shifts. Fucking oceans up in the air. Why would you send me that? Dog whistle ear rape. Brilliant. That was brilliant. So that Dr. Kaufman, heard him, heard a few others. There was another one that gets sent to me. Where is it? What's this? This doctor guy. Dr. Shiva Ayadurai, the inventor of email and candidate for the Senate in Massachusetts, talks about the Sustainable Development Goals. So that's interesting as well. I spoke, everybody that's known me for a while spoke about that. A new order, a new way of life. It can't be an oppressive, war-torn type place because people have had enough of that now. So they're going to have to offer you a system, something along the lines of the Venus Project. For anybody that doesn't know what that is, go and check it out. There's a guy called Jack Fresco, who I think's died now. I think he was in his 90s. But he's been, an advocate for this Venus Project thing since about the 50s, 60s, something around about that. And it's never went away. And he got a lot of coverage back in the day. And I think there was a lot of celebrities and people who had invested money in it and were advocates for it. So, that again, if you're going to have a system where we all live as a society, civilization, then eventually you're going to have to offer something like that. Especially if you don't want people leaving the room. Because the bully boy tactics will only work for so long. You don't need to be a genius to understand that. You can understand it at the micro. A bully may have his way for a certain amount of time. Eventually there will be a revolt, there will be a revolution. Whether it be you as an individual or whether you and a group of your pals batter fuck out of him. Teach him a lesson. So it has to be something different. Which is why I keep saying people need to remain discerning and think rationally. As a realist, what do you know? What can you prove to yourself? I think it was in Zeitgeist, but it wasn't on a boat. It was basically, depicted as like city centres would be like universities or education centres, in a kind of concentric circle type scenario where we had, technology that farmed the crops and dealt with a lot of that kind of stuff. Resource based, it's basically a resource based economy and way of life. That's what a lot of people do, Jai McD. Bullied at school, join the police. I hope you didn't get shitting on the world because you'd a chip in your shoulder. And again, even if you look at a system, is the Venus Project that bad a thing? I think people are terrified of not having their power. So something like the Venus Project scares the shit out of them because they would be equalised then. Maybe that's where it all stems from, is insecurity. You seen the moon? The moon's quite low on our horizon right now. Sun's fucked off. Sun's went down beyond the globe Earth. The moon's here, low on the horizon. The sun's down here. How the fuck's it projecting its light up like that? Oh, it's bendy light beams up over the curve of the earth and shining on the big rock. Because rock and dirt reflect light, no? You shine your torch on fucking rock and dirt and all that, it fucking reflects and lights up like a fucking Christmas tree. You can bend it round corners. Try it. Try it. Get yourself a sphere. Right? Get a sphere here, low on that one's horizon, and put the other sphere down here, but this is your torch down here. See if you can get the light. See if you can get the light to bend up and round and shine on it. If you can't achieve it, it's just because you don't understand it or something. You need to invoke some mathematics into your torch. I know the digital stuff, I know about all that stuff. You know, cashless society, digital ID, you're not getting money unless you sign up, you're not getting money unless you're vaccinated. It's all out there. And everybody's vying for the right answer, when in reality, the only thing we can do is wait and see. Remain vigilant, remain discerning, remain centred, calm, composed, rational, ready to have a look at whatever's coming our direction. And that's the problem. Because the majority of people are not going to be in that position. Emails, I have to check emails, hang on. Government don't need to control you. People are controlling themselves and buying into all sorts of shite. Flat Earth Life, hey there, what's up man? I was thinking about that flash of light comment that Trump has mentioned multiple times. We heard supposedly that there is going to be a solar plasma blast that is supposed to cleanse the earth of impurities, including malicious people and all of that. Also, it's supposed to be beneficial to those who are spiritually benevolent and such. Maybe that is why they're erecting makeshift hospitals everywhere and clearing hospitals, I'm not sure. But I could see why the governments are getting ready for something like that to happen possibly to Israel. They're definitely prepping for something. Flat Earth Life. They're definitely prepping for something, and it's no the sniffles coronavirus. As I said before and I've showed, you know, the rhetoric was there, so you've got two options here. They were telling you lies from the off, so they should be held accountable when they made the statements of the majority of people, including the elderly, are only going to get mild to moderate symptoms, there's no real concern. So do they really need to make that much of a fucking big song and dance just for people with respiratory problems? No. So that they are prepping for something. Unless there's going to be a release of some biological weapon. So that it's disguised under the already pre-released coronavirus push. But, you know, I heard about this as well, the grand solar minimum and how there's no sunspots right now on the sun, and, you know, there's going to be fluctuations in the magnetic fucking whatever. Again, just another avenue, another rabbit hole that gets flung in. Scenario happens, and then all of a sudden, all these rabbit holes appear. Same as everything. It's always been that way. You have to create smoke and mirrors and rabbit holes to distract people so that they're looking there while you're at the back of them, running about, setting up whatever you're setting up. Said before, it's fine, you know, we can entertain all sorts of possibilities. That way you're better prepared for anything that may come. But my issue is always when people entertain ideas or thoughts or possibilities, and then they start to represent them as fact. Without just being, decent, with a bit of integrity, a bit of honesty, discipline, and just make the statement. Look, it's just thoughts. Here's a thought. Here's an avenue of thought that somebody postulated. Here's another possibility. And always reiterate it for people that it's possibilities, their thoughts. No, it's the same year, Jaguar. COVID using septenary cipher is X19. Don't know what that is, Trackmatic. Two suns in the sunset. Solar flares. What do you mean, like bursts of flame? Like the way they show you in NASA pictures? So that's not what it looks like when I see it through a filter. I've heard that one too, Rolling Stone. There's always been tech there to wipe the world's population out. The majority of the population of the world have a drink of tea in the morning, or water, or whatever. You could get rid of billions of people like that. I don't need fucking groups of men and secret meetings and funny handshakes to figure that out. Then they're going to merge themselves with machines. That's not going to be very good. What kind of life's that? Merging yourself with a machine? What a bunch of fucking morons. How are they going to reproduce? Oh, come here to tickle your ones and zeros. Oh. Somebody come in and have a chat about it, for fuck's sake. Everybody's got something to say, but nobody ever wants to come and see it. Hi Dale, it's all to do with the sun. Around 50 years the sun will stop working. We will all need to go underground. I've heard this before as well. There are places already built for this, and we will need to be there prior to this happening. Unfortunately, I don't believe there is enough room for us all in the underground. So where do they go? They die. They've got to die anyway. They die before action is needed. They need to come up with a plan to cut the numbers down. Why would they need to do that? If everybody's going to die and they just jump into their bunkers then. I've heard of this before. It's another thought, Yates Paul. But again, the way it's worded, it's all to do with the sun. Like, you know for a fact, but you don't know for a fact. It's just a avenue of thought that you've entertained. I've had with a guy quoting a portion of these documents. Rockefeller Foundation. I read some of this in regards to the QAnon stuff and the connections. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. I'll check it out though. I'm not watching videos. Going to stop sending me videos. Why can people not just speak from their own mouth? I'm not going to sit here while I'm live and watch videos. If you want to basic lowdown on what these documents mind this filmed in 2014, bioweapons, right? There's always been the threat of chemical warfare, bioweapons. Maybe it's a possibility, as I said. set all this up under the guise that it's some alien virus thing that gives you the sniffles, and then whap bang, they release some chemical weapon, and then they've got their ground covered. Possibility. Is everybody terrified just to say they don't know what the fuck's going on here? And just keep asking questions. I don't want answers. I don't want people's secondary hearsay, unexperienced answers. Right, that's it. I've ended the conversation. I've ended all questioning because I have asserted that it's this. It's the sun. It's these people are going to merge with machines. It's this. It's that. That doesn't help anybody. Ask questions. Keep asking questions. And don't buy any answers until it unravels or you've experienced it for yourself. Why is that so difficult? It's the same as the whole Earth thing. Well, it's not a fucking globe. Right, I can establish that it's a level plane, but that's as far as it goes because we've not investigated it, we've not explored it. So why are people running about saying they know what the perimeter is, the full dimensions, what encases it, what's underneath it, who put it here? That's just muddying the waters. That's disinformation. Deliberately. You'd think people would have learned that, especially if you're coming here listening to me. But yet, here I am, and people are still partaking in the same nonsense. 5G, they're going to melt your testicles right out your fucking bossack. Because the Illuminati secretly have a plan to gather up testicles, because testicles have got a magical entity property that if you inject it into your eyelid, it finds a wee channel that goes to your pineal gland and it opens it up, and then the overlords of the universe can fucking manifest through them and rule the earth forever and ever and all that. Great. Brilliant. And any dissenters, they're just going to zap them with 5Gs. He says I was a reptile, he's finding out. We've got a seer. Quick, hit the 5G button. Aye, I've just fucking sussed it right out. Fucking whole plan right there and then. What we all need to start making. Right, well, I'm sorry women, yous aren't included in this because you're inferior, apparently. So all the men out there, you need to get yourself a copper Faraday cage that fits round your bossack so that we can maintain and save the fucking human race and all that stuffsies. Seems that way beyond belief, as I say, needling, getting a general feel of people, starting to see the agitation, the anxiousness, the annoyance, that's going to keep increasing. It's just going to keep increasing. And then you'll see the real agent provocateurs who take it to that extreme, that it's violence is the answer. Exactly. Look after your balls. In fact, women, you should actually be worshipping our balls even more so. There's a new paradigm. Women should be treating testicles as the prime real estate that they actually are, because they're going to save the universe. Daily routines of massage and tonguing will keep the fucking overlords accessing this reality. Well, you heard it on Tinterwebs, so go and tell the wife. It's a fucking fact. Heard it on Tinterwebs. You can imagine it, therefore it's relevant and it's real. Well, I've always been prepped for that Sheget helicopters. As I say, I'm not a doomsday type guy, but you know, when we have dependency upon food supplies, then it would be wise to take precautions in that regard, because as I keep saying, and I'm going to keep saying it and reminding people, money is not the control mechanism, never has been. That's secondary. Dependency on the food supply was first and foremost, because at the end of the day, take everything else away from a human being, if they've got water and food, they'll survive. And then they don't need anybody else. I know there's something going on GoPro. I'm not down in the sheeple. I'm down in the fucking attributes of disinfo and everybody jumping on bandwagons. I don't really know. What's going on? I'm no a messiah, psychic, fucking know-it-all. I'm just the same as everybody else, only I'm honest with myself. I know what my experience is. I know what I know, and I know what I don't know. The only thing I can do is observe and try and read where I think things are going. That's it. Nobody's talking to me, so I'm going to roll myself a decent smoke, and as I smoke it, I'm going to start lapsing into utter nonsense. Not that I need any of this for that, but right, stop. Why are they just randomly spoofing Martin Allen? There's good models and information the individual must discern for themselves. Exactly. No, they can't enforce it, they're criminals. Here's the thing. These police that are actively pursuing people, right, they are acting criminally, because it's the detriment of your health, your mental health and your physical health, to be confined unlawfully, like a prisoner, like a criminal, to your home. Now these people are no smart enough, these officers that you see out in the street, they're no discerning, they're no bright, they do not understand what they're contributing to here. But the fact of the matter is that they are acting as criminals. That's the risk you're running. This is what I spoke about in regards to the whole free man on the land stuff. You're no separate from the state. You're part of it. You can't pick and choose. You can sever your ties altogether and go and live in self-sustain if you have the logistical capabilities to achieve that. Again, in this situation, you still have your rights. You can utilise the language. The problem is that it's going to fall on deaf ears when it comes to these morons you meet in the street, because they're on a power trip. They've been given a free rein to exert their authority and their power, apparently in their mind anyhow. So it doesn't matter, even if I articulate to these people, you're still running the risk of them sticking handcuffs on you and causing you a minor inconvenience for a couple of hours. So they can try and force me to stay in my house, they can try and force me to whatever, but it's never going to be consensual. It's going to be under duress continually. And I would make it clear to them that you're going to hold them accountable if you can ever get the opportunity to. But I would even go so far as to say that I would take it personally, because if a police person tries to put their hands on me unlawfully, I will let them know that they're overstepping the mark and that it's now a personal matter. And under that, I have the right to seek retribution. If I have no caused any damage to another person's property or them. I'm not interested in any police or any authority. That's the reality of my situation. But the reality of the situation is that these fuckers do not understand discernment. They don't understand their role and what they're partaking in. And this is it, Thomas Young. We'll just find wordage, breach of the peace, this, that and the other. I mean, I seen the video of the woman earlier. Oh, what's the channel name I subscribed to? I don't think I've got it up there. A woman who was sitting on a park bench. And she was basically accosted by two people in fucking costumes. Although she done her best to try and articulate it to them. She wasn't harming anybody. She wasn't in the vicinity of anybody else. But then again, they're getting the pressure on them from up on high. So a little old woman sitting on the fucking bench has no chance against these people. They're on a power trip. They're not operating from rationality, logic. They don't care. As I says to Anne Fletcher female earlier, never underestimate the fucking stupidity. Track magic. See, when it comes right down to it, at the base of us, that's all we really give a fuck about, is it no? Food, water, shag. Pretty simple creatures when you take away all the fucking fluff and you just get right to the nitty gritty and the honesty. The world should just be full of buffets and people shagging all over the place. Oh, you fucking Satanist, can I see that? Sorry. Yeah, fuck, shows we show, mate. I know, what did it take you long? Satanist mindset. You try to tell me that eating food and having sex is satanic or bad or evil or something? Is that what you're saying? Oh, I forgot about the motorbikes. See, it's newer ad and stuff. I had it nice and simple there. Mate of life, like what? Go for it, shows we shows. Add to the list. More to life, like what? You don't need to keep repeating yourself, Boomer. If you keep repeating yourself and spamming the chat, I'm just going to remove you. Still waiting on this, there's more to life stuff. What drives you? What's your thoughts? Shows we shows? Huh? I miss the football as well. Truth drives me, shows we shows. Truth doesn't drive you, shows we shows. You're running about Tinterwebs muddying the waters calling people like me transsexuals. and trying to have hate campaigns on people that want to chop their cock off and have a vagina. Well, you portray me as being a transsexual. The first transsexual to father children, by the way. So you're not interested in truth. Get off your high horse. Stop trying to portray yourself as some angelic being of light and all that crap. You're just a buffer, the same as the rest of us. Okay? I'm not talking to the female. Come here and I'll fucking stick my cock in your gub. You can have a good inspection of it. Idiot. In fact, what are you still doing in my fucking chat? You get yourself to fuck. Idiot. There'll be no fucking muddying of the waters on my channel, you cock breath. Alright, so is that what, was he one of the clowns good? One of the, on here fucking talking about my daughter. My daughter who had issues from school, bullying, no fitting in, warped her mind, made her lose herself. Because she didn't understand her sexuality or who she was. And you get fucking dipshits like that. This is how you get young children fucking committing suicide. Because fucking weirdos like that make their life even worse, because you've got to remember the youth place relevance on what people think of them. The youth are attached to these things and it matters to them what people think of them and how people perceive them. You get fucking grown ass men making videos about infants, children. Fucking dirty little wronging. So good, get them to fuck. Well, that was another one, by the way, the Queen. Wait till I get that up. Wait till I get that up. There was a bit in that I thought, well, wait a minute here.
Come together to applaud its care. Remembered.
She was playing on the emotional manipulation as well. Oh, look at everybody applauding like fucking seals, waiting for a fish.
World, we have seen heart, be it through the checking, converting benefit, and those self-isolating met.
How fucking stupid anyway. You know, this hierarchy and queens and all that. Get to fuck. Get back down here in the muck with the rest of us. All applauding and all that. Ooh, the Queen, the Queen.
Opportunity. It reminds me of the helped
Just wait till I get this bit, because I watched it and I'm like, what is she?
for my sister, our homes, our own safety. Today, once again, many will feel a painful.
Well, man, I'm going to share this. Hopefully it doesn't get fucking flagged right enough. I better not show it. Let's just hear.
Sense of separation from their loved ones. But now as then, we know deep down that it is the right thing to do.
Davey, we know deep down it's the right thing to do. No, we fucking well don't. This is just heavy emotional manipulation going on right here. Or the morons that have got some sort of emotional relevant attachment to this strange person that they have no relationship with whatsoever, that plays absolutely no active role in their life whatsoever.
While we have faced challenges before, this one is different. This time we join with all nations across the globe in a...
Across the globe. All nations across the globe. How'd you want that one, Queenie? Huh? There is no across the globe. There's only across on a plane. Across the pond. Is that what you mean? all across the pond, the four corners of the world. Remember when it used to just be worldwide, the world? Globe, 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 globe. Somebody's panicking. I wonder why. Don't question the room. Panic, 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 panic. They're questioning the room. Oh no, panic, 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 panic.
A common endeavour, using the great advances of science.
Science? What great advances? What, fucking smartphones? What else? What else we got? Nothing.
And our instinctive compassion to heal. We will
Instinctive compassion to heal. But we never stopped the world for poverty. Never stopped the world when anybody wanted to declare war. We never stopped the world and went, hang on now boys, you're getting a wee bit irrational here. Let's think logically and rationally here about this. We don't need to go that far. Let's stop the world and get these people in their homes. Make sure they're fed and watered and clothed. Let's stop the world for all that. But here she is talking about compassion and all this rubbish.
succeed, and that success will belong to every one of us.
Oh, Dragon's on. Oh, let's get all prideful. Huh? Patriotic with each other. We're in this together. Let's do as the people on the TV said, because they said there's a reward at the end of it. Oh, let's be good children. That's like fucking nursery school. If you're quiet for the whole class, there'll be a big reward at the end. What did you get? A fucking chocolate button? Huh? That's hardly the big reward I was expecting. I thought maybe she was going to show us her tits or something. A chocolate fucking button? Really?
We should take comfort that while we may have more still to endure, better days will return. We will be with our friends again. We will be...
I'm just going to rewind this a wee second here. I want to show this, but it's the manner and the tone and how she delivers the line, "We will meet again." I didn't get that, but I certainly didn't get the way she delivered it.
We will be with our families again. We will meet again.
We will meet again. What are you talking about? Let's just hear it again.
We will meet again.
Listen to
We will
the
be
difference.
with our friends again. Endure. Better days will return. We will be with our friends again. We will be with our families again. We will meet again.
Bit ominous. Huh? We will meet again. Maybe she's a reptile. Maybe she's a pissed off reptile and knows the game's over. Huh? Right. Nice one, Bill. Right, hold on. Interesting videos. I've seen the arrest. I'm not interested in watching videos while I'm on live.
An altar.
Right, oh, that's coming up halfway through, so you've either timestamped that or I've watched it. James Price, you want a wee quick gab? No worries. Cape Town, South Africa, Ryan. Talk about this mention in your chat. I don't mind if you say You don't say, mind if I say who I am at all. Right, so your name's Ryan. So the people here in Cape Town are absolutely brainwashed by this whole pandemic. It's so easy to spot people that watch news and people that don't. Almost 90% of the people in the shops here are wearing masks and gloves. It's even gotten so absurd that you kind of get death stares by people when you aren't wearing one. How crazy is this? I have a black Cocker Spaniel, his name is Coda, and I normally walk him to the park every day 3 times a day. So now that we are under house arrest, I am not allowed walking him. I've been feeling so sorry for him, so I decided to go out for a walk last night at about 1100, 2300 hours. When I thought everyone would be sleeping, I didn't see a single car or person, so I thought I'd gotten away with the walk. This morning at 7:30 my doorbell rings, and guess who it is? A fucking police officer who had received a call from a neighbour saying that I was walking my dog in the streets last night. That's what I'm saying. This is a 1984 aspect. You know, the sheep are fucking sticking each other in to the fucking wolves. How ridiculous is that? Absolutely and utterly ridiculous. People are so fucking stupid and brainwashed by the mainstream media that they feel that they have to report something so innocent as walking my dog. I know, well that's the thing. You know, it's the same here. You've got these daft adverts about people going walks out in the countryside and some idiot woman, you're just not getting it. You're just not getting it. The corona alien body snatcher will jump into bushes and wait for other lonely dog walkers to walk by where it will pounce upon them, making them get the sniffles for 2 weeks. It's a fucking tragedy. You people should be locked up. These same brainwashed fools will go to the shops where they stand in queues of people. Exactly. You get people all standing about out in queues, in fucking shopping centres, in shops. Police are cutting about in their vans and their cars together, because apparently if you wear a uniform costume, you become immune. This is what I'm saying about people can't put these things together. They're not analysing things to look and see the obvious contradictions. This is what I'm talking about. How do you expect these majority to ever wake up to any of this? So honestly, I'm madhouse here. Even friends of mine who would classify as being relatively awake people are isolating themselves in the fear of catching this stupid fucking virus. I'm not sure what the point of sending you an email is. Just wanted to blow off some steam because there is nobody here that has any common sense that I can speak to. I'm getting so sick of this absolute retardedness that is happening in the world. The people in power never cease to amaze me with the shit they pull out of their hats, and 99% of the population just slurp it up as if it's 100% fact, and then they go as far as to defend the fucking bastards and their lies. Exactly. Tried for 5 months to get people to wake up to the fact that water can't bend, and that is literally impossible for us to live on a globe with bendy water. But ended up causing such issues between my friends and family that I could not begin to imagine that their government, who loves us all so much, will lie to us about the shape of the earth. So I stopped trying to spread that. And that's it. As soon as you see that kind of cognitive dissonance to the point of, you know, rejecting you and stuff like that, then you know you're dealing with fucking deeply, you know, affected cult members. You know, they have been brainwashed to the point of absurdity. So I keep saying, look at the amount of shit that you still get from people on YouTubes and whatever else. Why? Because you dared to question the reality that you live in. You dared to doubt some other being's account of your reality. But they think they've got the right to do. This is what I'm saying earlier about pharmaceuticals entering into it. You know, aspects of science, but they're not really science, they're existential storylines. Why are governments, you know, allowed lobbying to go and to have these things instilled in things like the educate? What the fuck has any of that got to do with maintaining the infrastructure? This cult has built itself up and crept into every fucking avenue. There are two YouTubers that have some good content on this absolutely pathetic corona shit. They explain how it's all a hoax. But anyway, that's the end of my rambling. I have a lot of respect for what you do. The world definitely needs more freedom fighters like yourself. If you ever tried to venture down to the bottom of the globe, where we live upside down, only relative to me, please feel free to contact me. It'd be really cool to meet you in person and chat about the craziness. Well, hopefully one day, Ryan, that would be excellent. There's so many people across the pond that I would love to come and meet and say hello. Maybe one day we'll get that opportunity. Who knows? Maybe once the world accepts me as a guru messiah, I can sell out places and whatever. I've been out the bike, mate. Well, I've got the perfect excuse now. Nobody's buying anything. I can't sell the bike. So I've been jumping out here and there, getting use. So actually 4A's went out on Sunday. 4A's went out for a wee blast on Sunday. No issues at all. Only stopped, nobody approached us. Right, so there was no taker for that. Dodds or well, I get that letter as well. Apparently there was only 30 million of them sent. Well, that's not the population of the UK. I feel kind of fucking privileged and special, to be honest with you. Yeah. Right from fucking Downing Street, signed and everything. Well, that's what the experts are saying beyond belief. And that there's no way to accurately detect this thing that they're calling Corona COVID-19. But if you get tested, quite a lot of people are going to show up. Right, STFU boomer, you're just ripping the pish, son. See you later. I'm not interested in fucking sycophants either. Okay? I've got, you know, insecure morons coming and trying to claw at me because I don't believe their fantasies. And I can't be bothered with them. And I've got people that want to come and lick my arse. And equally, I cannot be bothered with those either. This is these two wee fucking rich kids. They think they're fucking clever. They've got other accounts as well. What's their other accounts? T1, no, Paul Diver. I Am Pirate. Those the other ones went. Fuck it, I can't either. Jim Smith and Chiapas. Allah spreads hate. They think they're fucking smart. It's just the same pieces of shit for however long. I had a wee laugh with the Lycra boys and the Push Irons, Del Mio. A couple of them went by, we had stopped at a junction. And they went by and had a wee laugh, saying he get too close. Right, nobody's joining. Hello? Hello? Somebody's here and I'm not getting a response. Hello? Right, I'm just going to end that one then. For those that can't be bothered sending me an email, you can just click that link and come directly in. Clattenford Boris in Liverpool. It's like a fucking sheep.
Right, point down. See you later, love.
Wow, wee wank, man. Utter fucking useless wee cum stain. It's like the fucking, you know, everybody clapping for Boris Johnson. It's like the sheep applauding the man with the bolt gun at the fucking abattoir. Oh, hope you're feeling good today. Can we lick your boots while you fucking shoot us in the skull? Please let us. Pure Stockholm Syndrome. A level that's unimaginable. It's a fucking nightmare, to be honest with you. I just laugh at the majority of stuff, right? But see if I actually sit and contemplate the state of people and their behaviour and what they're partaking in, it's really frightening. It is really fucking frightening. But they're quite happy to play out this role and sit in that position.
Quite happy to play out this role.
Ah, you need to turn that off. Dom, turn the fucking thing down!
I just want to say that's a fantastic
Fuck off. Dom, I had to switch that off. You need to turn the volume down on YouTube. And then we get wee fanny sacks in. Still desperate for my attention. Beg, 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 beg. Keep begging, son. I'm just going to stop fucking even giving the option for people to join. Right? If you can't learn to turn the YouTube volume down before you come in, aye, buller, buller, buller indeed. Oh, scary thought is that it might just be us. Who was it that said that? That jumped here. Where did that go? It can just be us, I guess. Sure is frightening. Aye. Wish we could just be us. I keep saying that, Merriman. I feel like I'm a fucking alien here. I've landed in some alien realm that I wasn't supposed to arrive here. It's like fucking a holiday brochure of a luxury apartment with a swimming pool. Then you get there and it's a fucking shithole. That's what I feel like. Hello?
Hello, Dale.
Who's that?
It's Dodger there. I got through. I don't know how to walk this fucking stuff. Apparently I was, whoever set this up for me years ago, set it up, I didn't, and I had to go through it. But I'm here anyway. It took me months.
Aye. How you doing?
I'm fine. It's just some of the stuff you were saying there about the food and all of that stuff. I noticed that years ago.
But the what,
Like
sorry?
we need about the food, they're not ground food. Like, I mean, I live in Ireland. I live fairly near the countryside. We live close to the Dublin Wicklow Mountains, and for years we'd be driving up and down, and you don't see anything growing in the fucking fields. You see grass, an odd cow, a couple of sheep, and that's it.
Yeah.
And apparently we import half our food. This is Ireland, like, and this crazy shit going on for years. But nobody seems to look around at it and say, what's the story?
Aye. I know, mate.
I don't know.
I know.
I mean, when I was a kid now, I'm not gonna, like, during the Boer War.
That's a
like,
fantastic point, Del.
Who was that?
It's just the wee rich wanks that are desperate for my attention. Just ignore them.
You used to go around to the local shops here, even in the city, and food would be delivered by farmers to each individual shop.
Wow, that's
Yes.
a wonderful point, Del. I'm
Shut the fuck up, you fucking stick your cricket back up your fucking
Somebody
arsehole.
find out who these wee wanks are and bitch slap them. Somebody find out who these wee
Shut up,
friends are
Del.
and
You're
bitch slap
fat.
them. They deserve to be slapped rotten.
Like, it's amazing, this fucking idiocy, innit?
Yep. That's
Yeah.
they represent the globe. They are, one of the major globe proponents, these people, and that's the best they've got. So anyway, just ignore the fuckers.
Yeah, it's just to hop in and have just say a few things. Like, I mean, we're all saying the same fucking thing anyway, really, aren't we?
Yeah.
I mean, you have your eyes open, you have your eyes open. What do you do? I mean, I'll be like you on that now, looking at all this stuff now. I don't know for how long, years and years and years, and you get to the point where we really don't know what the fuck is going on,
No.
do we?
No, exactly.
Have
Man.
no fucking clue.
Exactly.
Have no
That's it. It's just understanding how little you
Are
actually
you
know.
a gym lad? When was the last time you went to Easy Gym? You look proper buff, you, with the big muscles and that, your big biceps and that. When was the last time you went to
I know.
First Help Gym, whatever?
Well, that's what tickles your wee prick, son. That's it.
That's a great point, Del.
I know. You probably touched.
Fantastic point.
Great point, Del.
Oh, we'll get a guy with a pilot. He's a pilot.
He's a pilot.
What a fucking moron.
Yeah, what an idiot who flies planes. What a stupid
He's
moron.
an absolute fucking cretin if he thinks he's flying on a sphere. Anyway, away you go, son.
What's the story with them there? They just keep jumping in or something. They're trying to hang out.
Aye.
I don't understand this, you know what I mean?
That's why I keep saying to people, look, in order for us to have a secure conversation, you need to send me an email and I'll send you the link direct to the email. And then they can't click in.
Well, you see, that's what I done originally, but the microphone wasn't set up properly.
Yeah.
You know the way you get all the different options. I had to go in and study the fucking thing because I couldn't figure it out. So I had to come in again, and that's how I got in the second time. But obviously, the next time I go through the email because I just went through. I just fixed my microphone and went back in. Well, I don't know what I done. I actually don't know what I'm fucking doing. There's so many choices.
I just press buttons and hope for the best, mate.
There's so many choices, and it's amazing how can I see what I see, and yet there's people out there that can't see what I see, but they can work all this fucking tech. Fuck.
Huh?
It's things back to front, and it's just like that, all that lunacy, and the fucking anger you feel sometimes.
Yeah.
I have to go out and get stuff because she won't go out because people are over a certain age, they don't want you going out in the street. That's what they say. I keep saying to her, that's martial law. And she says, stop saying that. It's frightening her. It's frightening her. If I speak, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I know.
I don't want to be doing that.
They don't want to hear it.
And I went Sunday morning. I went over to a huge little shop just not far from us. We drove up, and what pisses me off, they're all standing in the fucking car park in a big long queue, and everyone's watching everyone else to see if they're 2 meters apart. Some of them are only short of taking out fucking tape measures.
I know.
And I got up to the door, and 2 coppers arrived on bicycles, and they're saying hello to the security guard at the sliding doors that lets people in. I says to one of the coppers, I says, will you tell them to tell people to stand at the side of the fucking the building? So we're all freezing to death out here in the car park. It's a big square building. I have to stand against the fucking wall, get out of the breeze. And they can't do it. They can't do it.
That's a great point.
Told you to shove your cricket bat back up your ass. For fuck's
Excuse
sake.
me? I'm 12 years old.
It's time for bed. Go to bed.
Are you a nonce? I was going to say that was a great point, but I'm just going to leave.
Anyway, it was the same up in another local shop up there, another part of the place where we live. They're all standing out in the car, and this building has an overhang on it. You know, where you have like an alcove that runs all the length of the shopping centre, you know, and you could stand out of the breeze.
Hurdy.
But they all stand out, and there's outfits on Zimmer frames, and the cars driving through the car park, they're fucking knocked down. They can't even hear the cars. And I'm looking at this. I said it to your one in the chemist and all, and she said, yeah. It's still the fucking same. It's amazing.
I know, mate. I know, it's fucking bonkers. It's bonkers. Listen, man, I'm going to get off. I've smoked a good one now, so take to go and chill.
I hope you're fucking growing your own now, because it's not
Last
the
time
way
you-
it's looking. Hell, it's you're not going to be able to do this for much longer.
No,
I'm gonna have to start smoking.
Great, fantastic point, Dale.
that's it, bud. Aye, well, no worries. Cheers for coming on anyway.
Because I'm a leprechaun.
Take it easy,
Yeah.
man.
That doesn't sound very healthy. Maybe she's got a slimming world.
The next time I'll come in through the proper way. Okay, talk to you later. Though.
No worries, buddy. Take it easy.
Take it easy. All right, bye.
Cheers, bud. There's a few other people here. Hang on. A few other people that are requesting the link there. Obviously the issue's getting in. I'm going to get off in a wee minute here, so the offer's still there. People can join on. I'll probably be on the next couple of days again, to be honest with you. So let's see how things unravel, you know. But aye, right, everybody. Cheers. I'll catch you all very soon. Take it easy.